So welcome. It is Thursday, June 25th. This is our Forex League live trading session. In these sessions, we cover all of the pairs that are on our watch list. If you guys come back into this analysis channel, this is completely free. We're going to go over all these pairs: GU, UCAD, USEP, NU, UJ, GJ, and then Nick's going to go over DXY, AU, AJ, EU, EJ, Gold. So we're going to get to that in a second. Euro AUD. We do not watch Euro AUD. Do you guys use? You can look at our charts in a second for the moving average settings that we use. As always, we're going to start off with a little bit of we're going to start with a little bit of fundamentals for today. Yesterday we had 2 reports come out. So this is included obviously in the signals and the membership. These are premium chats only, but I'm going to read these to you. As you know, the Chinese economy performance is a big factor for the smaller economies like New Zealand and Australia. In this post, we're going to take a look at the performance of the Chinese economy. According to recent reports, we can see that their PMI data is going above 50, which indicates growth. When we see PMI numbers going above 50, that clearly shows us that GDP is going to grow in the next 6 to 12 months. However, that may not be the case right now, considering the fact there are some reports for a second wave of coronavirus in China. Some of the cities are getting back into lockdown measurements. It's important to remember how the Chinese government cooperates with the smaller economies like Australia. At that point, China is Australia's biggest trading partner, which means that China buys more goods and services from Australia than anyone else. Hence, when the Chinese economy is doing well, that means they will have more money to buy goods and services from Australia, so that helps the economy. We hope that China will recover fast and there won't be a second wave of coronavirus. However, if this happens, the PMI numbers will probably go below 50, and that will show us weaker GDP. So indicators show Chinese government is growing. Then for the U.S., the U.S. has suffered quite a bit. At the moment, it is not showing growth, but we've pretty much bottomed out right now. The dollar is very weak. If we look at DXY, which we're going to look at in a second, we can see, I'm going to pop on here. We're going to pull up DXY. If we look at DXY, we can see that price has bottomed out right around this level right here for the first time since March. When all this started to go down, this dropped tremendously to this low. So DXY, for you guys that don't know, DXY is the dollar index. This just shows the index of a lot of different currencies in the world, and it shows the value of the dollar. If you guys want to learn more about it, you can just do a quick, wiki search on what the dollar index is. But basically, we use this to judge the value of the dollar, to judge the strength of the dollar. And obviously, I trade a lot of USD pairs, all of the major pairs. So this is like a key indicator to use. At the moment, let's start, like always, on the weekly time frame. We can see some higher highs and higher lows being made on this pair. At the moment, we are at this low, finding a ton of support at this level right now. We could potentially shoot back to the upside based on all of these wicks that are happening, or continue to consolidate in that area. Let's just go down to the daily time frame. We formed a minor level of resistance right here with this bearish engulfing candle. And obviously this is in a downtrend on the daily. We broke these lows. Let's just look at the 4-hour. The 4-hour time frame is what's interesting. We actually formed this higher low, or this lower high right here. And then right here we broke above there. And this was our first higher low. So we're really looking for this to continue in an uptrend right now. If we were to fib, we hit down at this 88.6 level. And now we're looking for it to extend up into this negative 27 area, right in this area with the 200-day right there. So I am looking for DXY to continue to go bullish. With that in mind, let's hop over now and start off with some of the pairs I'm going to cover. So I'm going to start with GU. We have a little trade on GU right now. It's finding some support at the moment. I want to check up on this and do a little bit of an overview, see where we are at. Obviously, this was given out as a signal on the weekly time frame. Very bearish. If we just focus in right now, we hit a lot of resistance off this monthly level. The moving averages are still maintaining red over blue at the moment, so momentum is still very bearish on this time frame. On the daily time frame, we had this minor break above this level. So we had originally been fibbing from this high to this low right here. We were looking at structure. We had structure form right here, and then it broke above right there, broke above that level, which was significant. So we were looking at that, and then we had this fall off. We had this rejection of this monthly level. At that point, I bumped down to the 4-hour, and I said, okay, we need to wait for some sort of 4-hour, some sort of 4-hour break, some sort of 4-hour reversal. And pretty much what we got is we got a break of this level right here. So that's why I fibbed from these highs to these lows. And again, just looking at structure, we have this lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And now we're right in this area where price is kind of being squeezed. Very similar to this when we were at this point right now. You know, a lot of people are asking, should we close this order? Should we capture some of our profits? You know, anything like that. And at the moment, right now, I think Nick just joined up. I'm just gonna unmute him. So at the moment, right, what's up? What's going on? So at the moment right now with GU, since we're bearish on the weekly, we're bearish on the day, or we're not bearish yet on the daily time frame, but we're bearish on the 4-hour. Overall momentum is bearish. You know, we can sit on these lower time frames now, and we can use lower time frame structure to decide what we're going to do with this trade. So obviously we're in about 60 pips of profit, you know, around 1-to-1 ratio. Whenever I get to 1-to-1, I do like to move my stops to break even. This was the entry up here. We had a break of this level of support, retest. You know, for people inside the membership, I keep going over these moving averages, how we look at structure. Yesterday I had like a nice session of somebody understanding why this is the entry. This is just a very clean transition right here. So again, at the moment, you know, what are we looking for? We're not doing any re-entries yet. Everyone tries to re-enter like as soon as they see a damn wick. Like it's not, you're gonna get fucked if you do that. So you gotta wait. So right now, what do we need to happen? We need our next lower high to form. You know, I've been talking about this. We need our next lower high to form. You know, I had my fib on this lower time frame. Right here, we're rejecting this 38.2 right now. We need another bearish candle here. If we get another bearish candle, we can comfortably re-enter, put our stops above these wicks, and then continue to target these lower levels. These were our original targets lower. You know, we can continue to target these levels down here. So we need to be patient right now with GU. If this continues to break above here, we could see it reject this level. You know, we definitely have a level of resistance right there and this 200 days. So it really is deciding right now over the next hour or 2 hours what we're going to do with this. You know, we're going to have to see what happens with GU. So we're waiting on that. NU right now, we actually just took a little trade with NU. I just want to go over this because it's in a wild level that's there's gonna be a lot of volume that kicks in. So weekly time frame, as we've been going over, lower low, lower high, lower low. Right now we're looking to form. We're anticipating the move. We're anticipating the next move, guys. We're forecasting the next idea, and we have a lot of confluence here for us to be bearish. So that is why we're trying to anticipate us to get into a bearish move on this daily time frame. You know, look at what we have here. Bearish engulfing here. Evening star formed right there yesterday. So a lot of bearish volume coming in. If we look at the 1 hour, the 1 hour time frame is pretty much telling us this. The 1 hour time frame, if we just focus in on yesterday's evening star. So this is what I like to do. If I was you guys, if you're having trouble on lower time frames, identifying like transitions, just come on here, highlight that candle, come to the 1 hour. Was there a break of structure? Boom, right here. Right here was a very clear break of structure. We were waiting for that first lower high. I was squeezing this down on this 30-minute time frame. That's why I entered here. I've got stops above this level. We had little pullback across this moving average. Obviously, we're pulling back right now. What we need to see is we need to see rejection of this level. If this level breaks, then we're comfortably we're gonna get stopped. We're gonna be out of the trade, but we know that this is a break of structure. So we can be comfortable in the sense that we know that previously price rejected this. And look over here. Look how price reacted previously to this level as well. So once price hits this level, something's going to happen. There's going to be a ton of volume that kicks into the market. So that's what we're anticipating. Future entries, now that it's pulling back a little bit, if we get something similar to this, so if we're coming up like we are now, and then we get another cross, so if we get some rejection of this level and then another cross, then you guys can re-enter. So that's a possible trade idea that we're looking at for NU. So we're gonna have to be patient on that right now. Let's bump over to UCAD. We talked about UCAD yesterday, going bullish on that little move. Let's start on the weekly time frame. So on the weekly time frame, we are bullish in the sense that we broke these levels, we made this high, pulled back, making this higher low potentially right now. We're finding a lot of rejection off this monthly. And just look at the wicks. Look at all the wicks there. It's really struggling at this level. Daily time frame, obviously very bearish in the sense that we broke these lows. Now we're pulling back to form our first potential lower high right there. So we can fib from here to here. Right now we're at 38.2. Could we potentially pop up to this 618 area? It is likely that that could happen. Let's continue to cycle down though to the 4 hour. And this is kind of what I'm looking at now is the 4 hour just broke structure. So the weekly is bullish. The daily is in a retracement. The 4 hour is bullish. So momentum is bullish right now. We obviously just kicked up from this low. And what are we looking for now is we need, just focusing on this leg right now, what do we need to enter? We need some sort of pullback. Right now we just had a pullback, a lot of momentum back through. We need another clear signal from this level right now. This level can't break. If this breaks, then I'm just going to bump back up to the 4 hour time frame and wait, and even look at the 30-minute. But this needs to hold right now. We need another rejection, and then that'll take us back to the upside. So see how these red over blues crossing? This is going to close lower. This is going to consolidate most likely right here. And if we get another variation like this, then we can enter and we can put our stops right below this level right here. We'll be able to put our stops right around 30 pips or so. So we got to wait on UCAD. I've got this on the orange. That means that I'm getting ready for potential entries on that. Let's bump over to USEF. So USEF, going along with the theme that USD could potentially be very strong right now. USEF in the weekly time frame is bearish in the sense that we broke this low, made this low right here. Now we pulled back. Look where we are right now. We're at a weekly level support, finding a ton of resistance right now. Resistance here, doji last week, all showing signs of reversal. So as I come down to the daily, now what am I seeing? I'm seeing a double bottom right here, bullish engulfing yesterday. So we're double bottoming right there. With all that in mind, I'm just going to bump down all the way to the 1 hour time frame. And I need some sort of break of structure right here. I need some sort of break of structure. If I look very closely, this isn't enough for me on this 1 hour time frame. I'm not going to go even below this 1 hour because we're looking at like a weekly move, daily move. We're looking at a really higher time frame move. So what I need to happen is, like I forecasted yesterday, is I need this upper level either to break right up here. That would be a break of structure on the 4 hour. Or we need some more like rejection here, some consolidation, and then we need a break. So something similar to this, if we start to pull back and then we find some rejection and then that level breaks, so there's nothing at the moment right now with USEF. We're just staying patient and we're just waiting. Let's go over to UJ. UJ had forecasted a little idea yesterday. I'm just going to move this over so we can see. Pretty much, let's bump up all the way up to the weekly time frame. And let's take this off. So UJ on the weekly is in a downtrend in the sense that we broke these lows, made this lower low, pulled back, made this lower high right here. Look at these moving averages crossing blue over red, then red over blue right here. Now we're back at this level of support, back at this weekly level of support. So we're finding some buyers again. We previously rejected this flew higher. Now we're rejecting it again. So let's start to bump down time frames and see kind of what's going on. So all the way down to the daily time frame, you know, I have my fibs on the daily to this low, retrace to this high, pulled back here to retest this level. So this is our level, our lower high here. This needs to break for daily structure to be broken. Let's go down to the 4 hour. And I had mapped this out yesterday. This is significant right here. We have the 4 hour time frame, which broke bearish right here, made this lower high. Then we came down, retested these lows, made a lower low right here. We have this pullback. This is a lower high right there. And we just broke that. So now what I'm looking for on UJ, and this is what I forecasted yesterday, is we are looking to go long on this. You know, we're looking for some sort of pullback right now. We need to pull back to like one of these levels right here. And we could even hit the 30-minute right now. And the 30-minute has just gone completely bullish. So we just need this to pull back, and we need to enter on a higher low. We need to enter on some sort of higher low. As this continues to ascend, it doesn't give us any opportunities to enter at the moment. So I'm just going to wait on UJ, wait for that nice pullback, and then from there we can look at entries. So let's go over now to my last pair that I'm going to go over, which is going to be GJ. GJ's been stuck in this one area. Let's just look at it again. A little lesson on the moving averages and on structure. So pretty much how we base structure is we got to look first, what is the trend? The trend is obviously descending right now. I'm just looking at this lower low right here. So we have red over blue. As this crosses back, this forms a lower high. So boom, crosses back, bullish, doesn't break this previous lower high. Then this, as this red over blue crosses again, that confirms this as a lower high, that confirms this as structure. Then we come down, make this new low, blue over red, we cross, come back. Now look, we're making our next lower high right here. This crosses again, then we come down, retest this low. So until this is broken up here, we are still in a bearish trend, guys. We're still in a bearish trend on this weekly time frame. Now as we go to the daily, let's do the same thing. Daily time frame. If we look up here, if we look left, we were making highs, higher low, high, higher low. Then it broke right there, red over blue, broke. Then we came up here, made this lower high, red over blue, crosses, came down, boom. Then we just broke that level. So we made a higher high out of this, made a higher high. So structure on the daily broke, right? But not to be confused, the weekly, we are still bearish, guys. So as this happens, this break, what I do is I bump up to the weekly, and I look up here and say, okay, volume overall in this time frame is bearish. Where is the next level of resistance on this time frame for this to potentially reverse? I mark this red zone based on all these levels of support and this wick resistance, and then up above that would be this 200-day, this trend line if we were to come up above that area. So then that's why on the daily we started to reject that level. I didn't take entries all the way up there. I was being more patient. But as we come down now to the 4 hour, you know, the 4 hour was also in an uptrend. If we just look left, made this high, crossed, higher low, made this high, crossed right here, made this higher low, made this high, made this higher low, and then we just broke. So we just broke. Now we're making a lower high right here. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for setups now. I'm looking for stuff like this. Bearish engulfing there. Bearish engulfing here, but with a wick. And then right now, something's forming, potentially an evening star. And then as those things are forming, I'm bumping down to the 30-minute, and I'm looking at 30-minute structure the same way that I was looking left, the same way that I was looking on the other time frames. So pretty much we can see we made this high, no higher lows were made. Momentum is maintained, blue over red, maintained, blue over red, blue over red. Then we get this cross, this pullback. This is now a higher low that forms. We come up here. We have all these crosses in here. Boom, boom. This I would consider a little bit more minor to me. But then this happens, we get this cross, higher lows formed, we come back up, cross again. So I'm just looking at these moving averages for structure. And then that's why I lined this off right here. We came down, broke this level. So where am I looking to now enter? I'm looking to enter on my next lower high, which is happening right now. So that's happening right now. So what we need to wait for is we need to wait for this to close on the 30-minute, which is going to be in 2 minutes. And I am going to need this to cross. Very similar to this. Very similar to this right here. Very similar to this. This needs to cross. So even if this next candle, most likely I'm going to have to wait another half hour for this move. And then I can put my stops above this structure level. You know, this retested this high, so we know this is still confirmed. I can put my stops above there. And then where do I target? I bump back up to the 4 hour, because remember, we're in a 4 hour move. And I say, okay, first target on this 4 hour could be 0%. It could be these lows right here first for 1-to-1. You know, ultimately, where are we looking to get to? We're looking to get to negative 27%. You know, but we're not going to get right there. We got to, you know, have different targets before we get there and maintain the trade. So this is a trade that could potentially be going down right now. I'm going to actually drop this one in the premium analysis channel. PVP, GPY, potential trade. So every time we get a potential trade, we are going to put the analysis in here as we're getting ready. And then we will signal the trade in the actual signal room. If you guys want to get in on this premium analysis, at the end, I'll go over. It's just $7 one-time fee. If you guys want to get in on there and to kind of expand on these live sessions a little bit, you guys can get on that. But we need to wait. We need this to close, and we need it to cross. So this, I'm going to move up to my watch list. So right now I'm watching USEF, UCAD, GJ for potential entries. And then I'm in on GU and NU right now. So yeah, that's what I'm waiting on. So I'm gonna pass this along to Nick, and he's gonna go ahead and share and then get started.
All right, did you go over DXY yet?
Yeah, I did.
You did? All right, so we'll do a quick recap, quick light covering of it again. What's going on, guys? So yeah, I mean, as Angela went over on DXY, you know, we are seeing a bit of a reversal from the monthly, and it is still ranging between 96.5 and this lower trend line if we just take a look at the daily for a second. But you know, it is primarily bullish if you look at the daily time frame. Very strong bullish trend and bullish channel. Yeah, and so we're just finding some consolidation in this area right now. So we need to see a break back into the channel or a break below it down towards the monthly once again. So yeah, this has been interesting the last few hours. Huge pullback, MA cross. Could have the momentum needed to push back into that channel. So that's DXY. All right, let's just move right into the pairs. I'm going to start off on AU. Let's go to the daily time frame for a second. Still very much bearish. We can just see it's clearly very bearish, huge bearish channel, breaking support, turning resistance right at this monthly. And then we can see some lower highs, lower high here right at the monthly, lower high here. And then this is just a test of that lower high again. So this is that Corona spike. You can see this huge drop off in price action. And then it came all the way back up, testing right where the start of the drop happened, right at this monthly zone. So this is basically 100% retracement. This is that very strong 4 hour bullish channel, bullish trend on the 4 hour time frame. All right, let's go ahead and figure out where potentially AU could be going. So now we know we're at this key level, this monthly, right? Huge resistance. We saw a double top, which is a 4 hour double top, which is a big reversal pattern. And we thought that it was going to drop lower, break through this support right at 0.69, and then continue down. But we have this kind of ascending channel here. So it's really not, it doesn't have too much conviction. It doesn't know where it's going to go quite yet. We need to see a few more confirmations. It kind of needs to, you know, prove itself before we either drop or continue higher. So, I mean, naturally, any long situation any long opportunity would have to be after this monthly was broken. So we want to see huge bullish volume break this monthly zone, retest the zone as support, give us a higher low, and then confirm through, you know, bullish setups, so like bullish engulfing, Morningstar, tons of exhaustion, and then you could potentially enter on this higher low after it's retested the monthly. And this would be a massive move. Let's just go to the daily for a second and see how much higher this could go. Yeah, so this could go, we could just be playing to a whole new zone if this monthly breaks. But right now it's holding pretty well. But I want to bring it to your attention, guys, that this could be, a huge potential move if this monthly zone does break. You could be looking to get to much higher targets. Right, and that all depends on DXY as well, because again, AU. So if DXY, starts tanking significantly or breaks that key level that we talked about, we could definitely see AU pushing up much, much higher. But for the short term, we're just going to apply our technicals, just going to apply, based on what we see. And right now it's looking like, it's just going to be ranging between this monthly and then this level, this support level right around, let me put a price label for you guys, right around here, 0.675. So it's kind of just bouncing between these areas. I mean, this is that zone that it's currently in, right? So if we do see a push lower, let's say we get a lower high here, we got the MA cross, right? So this is a good sign, a little double top action at this structure level right here. So if we do get a lower high here, right at 0.69, and then some nice bearish setups right off this level right here. Let me just extend this for a second. Right off here, this could be a potential, short opportunity, 50 pips to get 160, 3.2 risk reward, really great trade. And all we're doing is, playing to the bottom of this zone here, 0.675. But a nice lower high would be pretty ideal at this level. Break of this candle, of this ascending channel right here would be really nice to see. Nice little retest in this pocket. A lot of good amount of confluence here for a 4 hour, being this level with the MAs, these trend lines, and then of course, lower highs and overall trend sentiment. So looking pretty good right now. Definitely could be a little short opportunity here in the next few hours. Let's go to the daily, see if it makes sense. Right, for this to pull back and kind of bounce in this zone here is pretty likely. If you just look left, we've seen it bounce multiple times in its own daily ascending channel. So yeah, it's definitely possible. This is a pretty strong zone, so we'll be watching, waiting to see. We're just going to be following price action at this point, essentially, seeing if we're going to get more, bearish setups. Is it going to come down and touch the bottom of the zone again, or will it then bounce once it hits that level? And we're just going to analyze and wait for those setups, honestly. But it's looking good right now.
That's what we do.
Yep. No, honestly, patience pays, guys. I mean, like, it doesn't make sense if I was like, oh yeah, it's breaking, I'm going to short now. Like, what? What do you mean? Like, why would you short? You have no confirmations. But so patience pays, guys. Count your confirmations. Do whatever you got to do. Label your sentiment. Whatever you got to do to make it more simple for you guys. Simplicity is key. Don't over, stress yourself. And don't let emotion get the better of you, because just be patient. It definitely pays off.
Big facts from N Dark.
Big facts. Yeah. Don't quote me. All right. So let's go on to AJ here. Super bearish on the daily time frame. Huge bearish channel, guys. Just you can see there's the volume in this. It's pretty damn big. Let's go ahead and just get a quick range on it. 500 pip swings within this channel, so that's pretty massive. Something to be aware of. Okay, this is that Corona crap. This huge drop off, right? And then it came back just like AU, 100% retracement to the prior lower high up here, right? Huge pullback. And then you get massive rejection in the form of a daily evening star right at this monthly handle. So that was pretty interesting to see. So let's drop to a 4 hour. 4 hour is definitely bullish. Clearly, I mean, it was 100% retracement, and you could see how strong this freaking bullish trend is. Absolutely nuts. But let's drop to the zoom in a little bit more. So this, again, this is that monthly zone. We saw a head and shoulders pattern, present itself, which is a strong reversal pattern. We caught the short on the right shoulder here. Played it down towards the daily upper trend line of that channel. So this bearish channel, we played it down to this trend line here, okay? Back to the 4 hour. Now it's kind of consolidating again. Volume's kind of dying off. You could just see price actions going sideways. If you really just slap some zones in here, you could just see that price actions playing right between this. So you just bounce again, and so on and so on. So interesting, we want to see. All right, so for the massive move, for the higher time frame move, you obviously want to see one of these zones break, right? You want to see the range break. Let me go ahead and just extend this, make this a little cleaner. Okay, so you obviously want to see either, a clean break of this zone, followed by, a higher low if you're looking for long opportunities. Right? This is the conservative, trade path that I'm kind of drawing up for you guys right now. And then this would be the short opportunity, enter on a lower high, right, on a break of this support level, and then target lower back into the channel, the daily bearish channel. So like ideally, this is what you want to see when a range is, presented itself. But there's one difference with this range, is this is almost a 200 pip range, so that's kind of ridiculous. It's a huge amount of volume. Again, it is AJ, but still there has to be, there could potentially be some trades within this range. It's just not going to be. It's going to be a little more risk than if you were to wait for either this higher low or this lower high to form on a break of the range. Okay, so right now it's actually looking like a flag pattern. So let's just drop to the 1 hour for a second to see what we can. All right, so this is the key level, pretty much halfway through the range. Let's go ahead and throw a label on it. 73.8. All right, so from this level, we're looking short on this. As it broke this support here, see this clean transition? We got a nice lower high, pull back through the MAs. This was structure forming, break support, test as resistance again, and then gave us some lower time frame bearish setups. This was a potential entry right here, but these wicks kind of threw me off. It was like, it just didn't have the conviction I wanted to see, but it did, have a potential entry here, and I think it went into 60 pips profit, 50 pips profit, and then it came back to that zone. So now we're currently at the zone again. Let's get rid of this, right at the 73.8 area. So what we want to see is either a bounce like this. You could actually enter on this. Again, it's going to be a little more risk than if you were to wait for a break of the range. But if you saw a bearish engulfing coming through the MAs here, you could enter on it. This could be a decent trade. There's enough confluence here. There's enough confirmations here already that could make for a decent trade. So all you really need at this point is a nice bearish engulfing, evening star, something like that. And then what we're doing is targeting down towards this support. Let's call it 115.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make a little announcement. If anybody wants to enter GJ right now, you can definitely do so. We're going to give out a free signal to the good people.
There you go, guys. Hell yeah.
In this chat.
Generous guy right there.
Generous
guy. So this.
But I will say, use this position size calculator. Oh, I only sent it privately to this guy. Hold on.
Oh yeah, put it in the everything or everyone chat.
Use that. There you go, people.
Awesome. Yeah, check it out, guys. I'll give you guys a couple seconds.
Hopefully you get rich. All right.
Just hold on 1 second. I gotta turn this off. Hey, that's a good trade right there.
Got GJ making some moves.
All right. So back on to AJ. So similarly to GJ, they are somewhat correlated. This could be a potential entry in here again once we see that bearish engulfing. We're getting tons of rejection, which is great. All that we're really waiting for is a nice bearish setup and an MA cross, and then we're in. So keep an eye on AJ for in the analysis channel. Okay.
Quick in life, that rejection is good, people. Remember that.
Yeah. True. Wow. Wow. Mind blown. That's a quote of the day right there. All right, so for this to go long, it would need to break 73.8, confirm a higher low, and then you would target it back up towards 74.5. I wouldn't necessarily take the long position. I'm definitely more favoring the bears on this just because of the massive rejection that we saw recently on this 4-hour time frame. So massive rejection, lower high, lower high, lower high, obviously. And then a little bit of consolidation. So I'm obviously favoring the bears more so. Okay? So just be aware of this. All right, let's keep moving. On to EU. Ooh, this one's looking crazy. Okay, so yeah, as DXY goes up, EU will drop. Let's go to the daily time frame for a second. Identify sentiment. Super bearish, huge bearish channel, pretty wide in the sense of volume. Again, yeah, 500 pips. So this is a pretty crazy bearish trend here. But we did see after Corona consolidation and then a huge rally presented itself. And yeah, it took off. Pretty much, let's go to the 4-hour and I'll show you. Huge 4-hour trend, right? Tons and tons of volume. Shot up all the way up to 1.135. Then it gives us a little head and shoulders pattern, and now we're in like a descending channel kind of thing, which is pretty high volume too, actually, if you think about it. Right, 150 pip swings within this little channel. So yeah, this is interesting for sure. Definitely high volume right now. But let's try and identify a potential trade opportunity, right? So if this is going to go long, this is what we want to see. If this is going to continue with this sentiment, this 4-hour sentiment, we really want to see a bounce from the 50%, this 1.1175 handle. Something just a swift bounce, confirming a double bottom or something with an MA cross. Lots of bullish setups needed to really make this trade work. To give us some confidence in it, we really need to see a lot. So waiting for this. This would be a decent trade, about 150 pips. Let's take a look at what it would look like. Roughly something like this. Might bring that stop loss up. Just outside the 200 EMA, roughly, I would do probably 50 pips, something like that. So it's going to be a 3-0, right? About 150 pips we're risking to get about 150. So this could be a really massive trade, 3.1 risk to reward. Yeah, this could be pretty massive. And then again, obviously, if this channel breaks, they'll be playing into a larger move, potentially all the way up to 1.15, which is our next major monthly resistance, 300 pips higher. This could be a pretty big damn trade. But again, let's highlight the flip side, right? This could always break this support right here, right at 1.1175, give us some lower highs, and then bearish setups to continue much lower down towards major support, like our weekly here. It could do this. Definitely could do something like that too. Oh, this allergies are killing me again. All right, let's go to the daily, see if it makes sense. Yeah, this is definitely way more bullish than anything else, guys. So like, obviously you could see why my bias would be bullish first, rather than I'm looking for long setups rather than shorts. Clearly, just because look how strong this 4-hour trend is. Like nothing here is really saying like the bears are more in control than the bulls. They're just not. There's all bullish activity, literally day after day after day here. Absolutely nuts. And we are at a 50% fib level, so this could just be considered, a pullback, a retracement, which is normal market movement, which is what we want to see before we, continue with the trend. So I'm definitely more long than anything else on EU. All right, I got two more for you guys, EJ and then gold. Everyone hang in there. I know everyone's excited for gold. All right, so EJ here on the daily. Zoom out. What kind of trend do we see still? Very, very bearish. This one is the largest volume trend that we've seen through these pairs so far. 1,000 pip swings, absolutely absurd. 1,400 pip swings. It's nuts. The volume on this pair is crazy right now, or it has been actually. So anyway, huge. We're currently in a huge freaking zone on this daily time frame. Let me just show you through these labels. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bang. Huge resistance level there. And also up down here, 16.5. So this is a huge range. And again, we just covered that, EJ has a crap load of volume in terms of swings. So this is not, unlikely. This is a typical range for EJ. 675 pips roughly. But again, this is the main resistance. This is the main support. It's kind of playing within this area right now. So let's go ahead and drop to the 4-hour. Clearly bullish as hell on the 4-hour. Shot right up to this resistance handle around 123.5, 123.4, and then reversed after forming a head and shoulders pattern. It's breaking support right at the weekly, testing as resistance. It's in a pretty good bearish channel right now too. So, I mean, I'm more bullish on this than anything else because of what we've seen. This 4-hour trend is freaking nuts. But if we stay with this little bearish channel here, we're like, how do you play into a bearish channel, right? How do you enter on a channel if it's to continue? You want to enter on lower highs. So this is the one potential setup. If this, breaks support, comes back, if it breaks 119.85 and it comes back for, a retest, it confirms a lower high. After getting below this level, after getting below this, 200 EMA, confirming the lower high through bearish setups, engulfings, evening stars, bearish variations, then you could start looking at short setups, right? But because of how crazy bullish this has been, we could honestly see a reversal from 61.8 right here. So notice how I'm keeping like my mind open as to, like where price action could go. Because I'm not gonna marry a trade. I'm not gonna get all like upset if this analysis doesn't play out. Because I'm just gonna follow price action. Because you can always change up. You can always like look if this does this instead of like let's say this trade path here it doesn't fall down, doesn't fall through support and give me the lower high. Let's say it doesn't do that. It does this instead. It pushes up. Let's say it pushes back up to this handle here, breaks out of this little channel, and then gives us a higher low. Then I'm gonna start looking at long setups, right? Then I'll start looking at long setups, and then I'll just be waiting for confirmations to get in on this higher low, and then use proper risk management, target higher, play into the trend, all the way back up to here roughly. You can even stop yourself all the way out here. So this could be again another really great trade. At least a 2-0 risk reward, 2-to-1 risk reward. So guys, I'm just always waiting for price action to tell me what it's gonna do. I'm not predicting. I'm not gonna just because like look, this has so much to prove still. I'm not just gonna take a short because it's transitioning on a lower time frame. It's like no, there's a massive support level here that I want to see break. There's a massive resistance level here and here that I want to see break. To then consider long setups. Even though I am more bullish than anything else on this, just because of the 4-hour bullish trend, the daily trend, you can just see how much bullish volume has come into the market. So again, I'm just waiting. But yeah, this is a pretty crazy area that it's in right now, right between this handle and this handle, 119.85. All right, guys, are you ready for it? Are you ready for gold?
Are you ready?
I don't know. I need like an intro for gold. All right, guys. So we're in the daily time frame, super bullish, right? Clearly, I keep telling you guys that this monthly level was super important into playing into this setup here. Huge resistance at first, finally broke, and then just held a support so many times on the 4-hour. It's insane. Let's go ahead and zoom out for a second. Look how many times it's held. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. It's just a really strong handle. And we knew we were going to 1800, right? We've been calling 1800 for weeks now. It seems like it's been forever since we actually got a decent move out of gold. But we've had it. We got it this past week. Looking pretty good so far. So we caught this trade basically based on, we saw price action slide off, hit our monthly again, then transition to the upside. Gave us this symmetrical triangle pattern, and then broke out of it after an MA cross and a bullish variation. 3 candles in a row, and then it closed outside the structure level as well. So there were 3 confirmations in that one setup. Absolutely nuts. Could have entered there. And then, yeah, it just kind of skyrocketed all the way up to pretty much 1780. It was very close. Excuse me. And now it's coming back to a fib level. So right now we're currently sitting at the 61.8 fib level. And actually, you could take an entry on this if you see some bullish setups. So we know we're bullish. We know we're going to 1800. This huge zone right here, 61.8, is the deciding level right now. It's acting. It was resistance, an established resistance level. Finally broke, tested a support, and now we're wicking. See how many wicks there are? Lots of exhaustion at this level. So it shows that this is a very strong level. And obviously, as we all know, it's our golden level, one of our golden levels, and signifies a very strong trend, which is good. Normal market movement is what you want to see. You want to see structure formation. And then with that, it gives you the chance to enter. So let's go ahead and dissect a potential trade here. So I also want to bring your attention to this level right here. It's a minor level, but still somewhat important because it's a lower time frame transition. So this was support. Price action pulled back through as it came through the MAs as well, and now it's testing as resistance on these lower time frames. So this is more of a 30-minute level, but it's fine because we have a much larger support level here at the 61.8. So how do we enter on this? How do you get in on this? Essentially, there's 2 ways to do this. You can take an aggressive entry on a bounce on another wick. You can take an entry on a wick, exhaustion, bullish engulfing, morning star right off the 61.8, or you wait for this little level here to break and then you can enter. just mark this again. Okay, right there, boom. Or you can wait for this, right? Wait for this to play out. Get in on a higher low. And then target back towards 1800. So this could be a pretty good trade. Let's see. This is essentially also how you would kind of scale into a trade. Let's say this trade, we were in this, we're already active on it, right? You're looking to add to the trade based on all these confirmations and these fib levels, market structure, and so on. That's essentially how you scale in. So this is what it would look like. Starting to 1800 roughly. It's already a 2.6 risk to reward with our stop loss all the way down here. This is a 2.0. Yep. So this is looking really good. Really, really good trade, guys. Just again, watch for that 1767 handle. See how price action reacts on this 1 hour for gold. Especially if we just get a nice engulfing here. Be aware of that. Look, it actually gave us an engulfing through the MAs. Huge exhaustion on the backside of this engulfing. So it all depends. The next 6 minutes, if this candle closes all the way up here with no upper wick, that could potentially be an entry. If we close slightly above 1677 or 1767, that could be a potential entry. All right, guys, so let's go back to the higher time frame. Does it make sense? Yes, it does. Very, very bullish. Just waiting for some confirmations. All right, guys, quick recap. Covered DXY, AU, AJ, EU, EJ, and gold. All right.
Hell yeah. Okay, so if you guys have any final questions you guys want to ask, just feel free to throw it in the chat right now. Like Nick said, we just went over a ton of pairs, all for free. All of this is obviously free. We do these live sessions. This is the last one of this week. And just going to share my screen really quickly. Boom.
Jay Powell wants to join Forex League. Yeah, I talked to him about it. He's going to join us next week. He's going to do the fundamentals for us.
So look at GU. GU is pulling back right now. A lot of rejection right now, guys. So we need to be aware on this 15-minute what's going on. This is pulling back. Could we reject this level? Sure. But we just need to be patient right now. We need to be patient, move stops up to this level. So again, GU pulling back. I was looking at something similar in this area right here. Some of these wicks, some of these pullbacks. We're just looking at structure. Structure has got to be maintained right now. We've got structure right here that just formed with this cross. So we're going to be patient with that. So that being said, again, we went over a ton in this live session. This is going to be recorded and dropped afterwards on our YouTube. Like always, as you guys might know, we have this sale going on right now for our full course membership, 40% off. Right now it's $299. It's normally $499. So if you guys are interested, if you want to get in on the signals and on everything included inside of the Forex League course, then now is kind of the time. There's only 3 spots left. So I'm going to post all the details to this after this live session. Again, this is the last session of the week. So we'll see you guys again on Sunday for the Sunday Market Blitz.
Absolutely.
Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and update all of our analysis inside of this tab in the chat. We're going to look at how everything played out for this week. I'll just drop all of the screenshots in here, and you guys can come in here and you can find the recording of the live session just like yesterday's. I'll just drop it in here in a little bit. And also look out for some announcements in the chat following this session. We are going to do a webinar this weekend, potentially this weekend or next week, a free webinar. So look out in the chat for that. I'll drop details about that. So that's pretty much it. So thanks everybody for staying on. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, absolutely. See you guys.
Peace.